Some 50 people have died as a result of the remnants of Hurricane Ida. After a July surge, hiring slowed
We're live.
markedly in August.
Yeah, we are. What up, big dog?
All right.
Happy Friday, kids. Just getting everything all set up here. All right. Abnormal Realities with Ron and Rocci. Ron Phillips. Yeah, we are. Oh. Got it. Ron's going to call me at 1 in the morning and says, whose voice was that? All right, YouTube. Live ghost video so scary you'll cry into a stinky pillow. Jeez, that ain't clickbait at all.
72 points, but the NASDAQ rose 32. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The Leonard Lake tapes. Interesting.
Bringing peace and love to the world.
Getting distracted.
Cup of coffee at a
Dun,
time.
dun, dun.
Brad Staggs before his morning coffee.
Interesting.
Roasters bringing
Oh, that was weird. What's up, Mr. Roger Rabbit? What's going on, my brother? Jamie Christopher. We have Stephen Payne. All right.
That's
all
Leprechaun,
right.
dude. Leprechaun.
Oh, yo, Lep, what's up? Oh, I can't call him Stephen Payne?
Nobody knows him as Steve.
Yo, Leprechaun, I cut my hair for you, bro. I told Phillips, I said, dude, I did it for Leprechaun. How you doing? Dude, you better not let your hair grow out.
I'm not. I got to shave it tonight.
Yeah, it's getting long.
Yeah, it is getting long. Do that. Chop off some of this shit.
No.
I'm not going to cut it off.
Go
I just-
straight Fu Man, brother.
I'm not doing that. I look like an idiot. I can't
No.
do Fu Manchu.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't. I don't have enough testosterone to close in. this
Sure
right here.
you do, brother Phillips.
60 seconds.
60 seconds and accounting. All right. Beaver said the little ball triggered my friends. Wait, what's this?
What?
Beaver, Angry Beaver posted something here. Oh, what the hell is that?
You can ensure your family will have the money to pay your funeral expenses. We offer
They can show it again?
insurance plans
Watch this right at the beginning.
$3,000, considering the average funeral costs more than
No, that could have been dust because it stayed
That
the
looks like a
same.
doorbell camera. isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. They need to get a new one. I know that.
Policy cannot be canceled as long as you make your premium
It looks like though it manifested into something as it continued down. That's the hardest part about those things, man.
All right, here we go, guys.
Pottersfield.
800-562-2407. 800-562-2407. 800-562-2407. That's 800-562-2407. Paid for by Final Expense Direct. Journey into the matrix of the mind. Stretch your imagination and challenge reality. Abnormal realities are beacons for the imagination. What society deems abnormal may be more real than we think. This is Abnormal Realities with your hosts, Ron Phillips and Rocci Stucci.
Abnormal Realities right here on this Friday night. It's Friday.
Freaky Friday.
Freaky. It is
It's
Freaky Friday, bro. I got some ideas. Oh,
You got to go. You got to do this. What's the Don Newen do?
oh yeah.
Howdy, everybody. Make sure you share the show for us, please. Welcome to Abnormal Realities. It's Freaky Friday. That means that we don't have a damn clue what that means.
Yeah,
That's what that means.
But it's called Freaky Friday. So because when we don't have a clue, it makes the meatball go ADHD, and I will probably say something.
We have a few things on the schedule, but whether we
Yeah.
get to that or not, I don't know.
That's right. It is. So what's up, Mr. Phillips?
I'm doing okay. Sorry. Thank you for giving me the break last night. I appreciate that.
I was just going to say happy anniversary.
Thank you.
You guys have been together a long time, brother.
What? Yeah, 26 years. 26 years. I mean, there are people out there who have married way longer than us, of course. But at this point, after 20 years or so, then you go like, hey, happy anniversary. Here's your card. Thank you. Happy anniversary. Here's your card. And that's it.
Do you do flowers or anything like
We
that?
used to. I used to do them all the time. But she doesn't. She likes flowers, but she doesn't. We don't do anything with them. They just sit around.
They die.
She would rather me spend the money on dinner or something else like that.
I went and got Lisa some roses about 2 years ago, fake ones.
Yeah.
Still has them.
Really?
Yep.
I bought Misty for one of our
No, I'm just
anniversaries, I think. Some different. Let's see, they were dipped roses. There was one 18 karat gold one. There was one I don't remember what all the medals were, but there's 4 different medals.
Yeah.
It was expensive, but she still has those. We thought we lost them in the fire.
Oh.
Actually, we thought they walked off
Oh.
when they were clearing our house, but we did find them.
So there was a conspiracy going around about your fire.
Okay, what was the conspiracy?
That it was an apocalyptic alien attack, and it was your house hit by an alien missile.
It was hit by something. That's a damn fact.
Yep. Yep.
Scared the shit out of me.
Was it loud?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were all asleep.
Dude,
It hit the roof right above my head.
Oh.
And it sounded like an explosion. You know how like you get a big thunderclap once in a
Yeah.
while? It sounded like that, but a thunderclap, when thunder hits like that or claps, it rolls, right? It goes boom, and then you hear it rolling.
Yeah.
This didn't roll.
It's
This sounded like an explosion, and then it just went dead silent. And what the investigator said was it was a lightning strike directly out of the clouds right
Jesus,
in my
dude.
house. Yeah.
Well,
That
you
night.
know, you got a lot of technology that probably draws that static.
It wasn't the technology. He thinks it was the radiant barrier in our roof.
Oh, I was going to say that next. The radiant barrier.
Yeah, the radiant barrier. And the reason we say that, or he said that, is because my mother-in-law heard a sizzle after that. And it was the radiant barrier lighting up across the house. Oh, it was just nuts, dude.
Dude.
That was an experience that I don't ever want to have happen again.
No.
But when they rebuilt this house, there's not a place in this house, except maybe in the attic, a couple of places, where you can tell that the house had burned, because the entire studio area was rebuilt.
A lot of people remember when Kennedy was shot.
Yep.
Everybody remembers where they were when 9/11 was
9/11
attacked.
happened. Yep.
I remember where I was at when I got a call from you when your house was literally, you were outside while your house was burning.
I was standing on the front porch in the rain in my night clothes, my shorts and t-shirt.
His night clothes.
Barefooted.
That's what
I
he calls
didn't
it.
grab anything.
I call those pajamas.
Well, they weren't really pajamas. It was literally shorts and a t-shirt.
I remember that day. I remember
And
it
it
well.
was raining. It was raining.
And it didn't help put the fire out.
No, hell no. It was nuts. I mean, I stood out there for 5 hours while they fought this fire.
Lightning scares me.
Yeah, and so our friend Matt and I were coming back from East Texas that night.
Yep.
And the lightning, it's not, you can see a storm from way off and you can see the thunder, but this was lightning just flickering across the sky, and it was nonstop. And we saw that coming back in.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, when it hit the house, it literally hit the house at 1:40 in the morning, and we had gotten home at 1:10. So I was literally in bed maybe 15 minutes.
Jesus, dude.
If we hadn't made it home, or we hadn't come home that night, I don't know what my family would have done. I'm hoping they would have got out of the house. But I'm the one that saw that the house was on fire because I just happened to go up the stairs.
Yeah, you just thought you just heard loud lightning.
Yeah, and it didn't knock out our electricity. It only knocked out 1 or 2 outlets in my bedroom.
But this thing got sizzled.
Yeah, but it didn't knock out.
You remember you took me here when they were just starting to
Clean
rebuild it, and it was bad.
It was bad.
Because I was firefighter back then, so I had to come in and
Well,
investigate.
you came in and looked when before they started work on
That's
it,
right.
when they still had
Yep.
the ceilings were all torn out and everything.
Wow, dude.
God, it was crazy.
That's some paranormal
I don't know how we
shit.
got on that conversation, but
Well, I don't know either. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we're going to do tonight? We have some stories here, but we are going to open up the phone lines. And so, you know what? Again, we have a zero political rule on this program. Everybody knows where we stand. We love America. We love this country. We love this planet. And we love all of you. But we don't talk about that stuff on this program. But if you want to call in, anything you want to talk about, whether it be Bigfoot, paranormal, kind of weird encounters, if you're starting out in, we actually got a couple of our listeners that started doing paranormal stuff. They ordered all their gear.
Jamie Christopher's one.
James Christopher's one of them. I can't remember who the other guy was. He sent me the picture. He got the spirit box. He got a REM pod. And it's cool to see people get out there and explore,
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is it's investigative, it's intriguing, and I'm learning to kind of open my mind to some of this stuff. And I want to get on location and do some stuff now.
That's right.
You got
to have it.
Yeah.
I hope it starts out light. But if you guys want to call into the program, this show is live 7:00 until 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 8 to 9 Eastern Time, Mondays through Fridays. The phone number, 202-900-5900. Phone number, once again, is 202-900-5900.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of things we're going to talk about tonight. Let's see what I've got on there. So we're going to talk about the Cabbage Experiment. Rocky kind of started talking to me about this. It was really weird. I said, you know what, let's just hold it for the show. So he's going to kind of school me on that. What are you doing?
I'm relining myself up with your arrow
thank you.
right
Yeah,
by my balls.
line yourself up. Right, that's great.
Right by my balls.
Crop circle aliens, a dying Mars, and then the big one.
What do you mean dying Mars?
Dying Mars. It says CIA documents describe a dying Mars and its tall inhabitants as seen by remote viewers.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Do you have that message?
I do. I know what it is.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the biggest one, are aliens really gods?
All right. So
let's start with that one.
Yep. Let's start with that one.
Now,
wow.
Yeah. Are aliens, can aliens be gods or the spirits that come to your house? I mean,
okay. I've thought about that though. I've thought, okay. I told you when I was up in Burlington, Wisconsin,
yep.
They have a crap ton of UFO sightings up there. They have not a crap ton, but they have Bigfoot sightings out there and a lot of paranormal events. It's just weird how all these things, wherever there's a lot of paranormal, there's a lot of Bigfoot. Wherever there's a lot of Bigfoot, there's a lot of aliens. But that night, brother,
yeah,
we got a lot of weird EVPs that were not familiar to me. And that is when I started the process of thinking, are we, because, you hear, what do they call it? The fifth kind or whatever it is. These people that are abductees, these people that literally have aliens in their house, and you hear of some of the things these aliens can do.
Yeah. And for the most part, it's not just one abduction.
Right.
They keep coming back to
generational.
Them. But what is it about them specifically that they keep coming back to?
It's DNA. Well, that's what they believe.
Is something implanted early, or is there something specific about their DNA? I mean, I know we've had this conversation somewhat, but
they don't want my DNA for some reason.
They don't want
that I know of. But it made me think about that, brother. It made me think about, are some of these things that we're getting, some of these poltergeist, is that what we're getting when it comes to what we think is paranormal? I don't know. We don't know. And here's the thing. The more you get involved in this, you're going to find yourself with so many more questions than your answers, because it's all speculation. It's all theoretical. I can sit here and tell you about a spirit box. I can sit here and tell you about EVPs. We can look at all the cameras and all the videos and see everything, but we just don't know. We really don't. And you want to know. You thirst for it. But what's really cool about it is you start expanding your level of knowledge, like the Cabbage Experiment. You start looking at things differently. You start researching things differently. And trying to expand us, right? We were talking before the show, and we live on this speckle of dust, literally a speckle of dust within a speck of dust that floats through this universe. But yet, for some reason, our species thinks that we are the superior being of this universe, right? We think we have all the answers. We think that we use all these ones and zeros and come up with these equations, and it's all about science now, right? Everything is about science now. But really, comparatively speaking to the universe, we're irrelevant. You know what I mean? We're just a little speckle of dust that just happens to have this little species called humans on it that are destroying the very little thing that we have, right? So what is
we're
our
destroying it to such an extent that either the alien or that put us here, the aliens that put us here, or aliens from a different universe or whatever, are coming here to go, this is a test. Stop effing up your planet. Because we can only help you so much. I mean, from what I understand, they've already aided us a couple of times with regard to nuclear weapons.
That's right. That seems to be what a lot of people talk about. It does. Do we got to do something?
Yeah, let's do number one there.
Oh, number one, area code 270. You are on the line with the big sexy Ron Phillips and the meatball. What's going on?
Good evening, gentlemen. It's good to talk to you. Couple of things. Do you think the
Wait, who is
the
this?
Anunnaki-
Oh, Leprechaun.
people
Hey,
thrown-
what's happening, brother? Come on, you got to say big sexy Ron Phillips. Let's hear it in your voice.
And a big sexy Ron Phillips?
Yeah, you got to say it though. You got to say it like you're
The blue
introducing
ball
him.
and the big sexy Ron Phillips.
Oh,
There you go.
Chub. All right,
All right, go ahead.
One
Oh.
little thing and then something else. Would the Anunnaki, wouldn't they be the first people? Weren't they the ones that were theoretically grown that we came out of way back in the day when the first visitors showed up? Isn't that when it pretty much all started? Wasn't it back in that time? And then the second thing, and then I'll let you guys go because there's more callers, I'm sure. In your travels to visit, you ought to hit Bell Witch Cave right down the road.
Jesus.
Yeah, Bell Witch Cave. That's
there, as well as some spiffy old-time history.
Yeah.
I believe Andrew Jackson had an experience there.
yeah,
when
that's
he
that's
was,
correct.
Just after he had become president.
Yeah, we're gonna try to hit as many of these places as we can. Hey, thanks for the call, bud.
Thanks, Leprechaun. I don't feel right calling him
Guys, have a
Leprechaun.
great night.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
you too.
You know, Scotty's actually really good talking about the Anunnaki. I know a lot of people that have gone down. You have it right there.
Yeah, it is for those that don't know, the Anunnaki are a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians. In the earliest Sumerian writings about them, which come from the post-Akkadian period, the Anunnaki are deities in the pantheon, descendants of An and Kai, the god of the heavens and the goddess of earth.
So if you were to kind of go down that road, and what Leprechaun was kind of talking about, and the deities, you go to the seating theory, the Sumerian tablets. It's the oldest tablets I think we have in existence of anything documented, right?
Did you lose it?
No, because I don't know what direction to go with it because I'm not a scholar in this subject with the Anunnaki. What else did Scotty talk about? All the reptilians.
Oh yeah,
I never went down that road too much just because I don't know. Lizard people, just the whole lizard people thing.
he has a book on that, right?
He has a book on
He has
that.
one on the Nephilim too.
Yeah, the Nephilim.
Yeah.
Yep. But there you go. If you're going to talk about the seeding theory, though, you're going to talk about like Atlantis. You're going to talk about the ancient Sumeria. It's some of the oldest documented civilization on the planet. But how much of it is factual, right? I mean, we have tablets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we still have the physical existence of those? I don't know for sure. I can't remember.
know. I wish I knew more about it. I am not a scholar in it either. Hell, I barely even read about it. So
here's,
again, this is me. This is my education. All of this.
I want to say this though, and this is why I've always had a hard time going down that road about the reptilians and Anunnaki and even with Atlantis, because how is that serving me today, right? This is why, like Scotty, he will argue with people till he's dead on Facebook, and I always gave him shit for it, about biblical scripture. Why? Because we'll never know. These are just a bunch of guys who wrote part of their remembrance of a special time on this planet, and that has become law to people on how they live their life, how they choose their life. Now, we don't know the meaning. We see people today, they sit here, they're constitutional scholars, and they sit here and they dissect the Constitution and trying to change or manipulate the verbiage to represent a specific ideology.
Well, and that's the thing about Bible scholars also.
Exactly.
Is the original context of the language of the Bible can be multiple things, right? And so you have people who take the original Hebrew and all of this and go, it can mean this or it can mean this. And so you just have to decipher. And that's what people have been doing for hundreds of years, thousands of years, is trying to decipher what this text means.
Or manipulate what that text means.
And I mean, look, I get it. The Bible has a lot of teaching in it. There's no question about that. It is one of the most thorough teaching texts that I am aware of. But the bottom line is you have to understand what's being taught. I mean, good Lord, a parable will kill you. just trying to understand it.
Right. Now, see, and this is where all my Christian friends get pissed off at me.
Okay.
And I have the right to question everything. And if people get offended by these things, like we had a guy that I know, he got pissed off because we had a Wiccan on the show.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
It's not because we're practicing Wiccans.
right. Well,
I just want to, I'm intrigued by it. I want to understand it. I want to know.
there it is. You said it right there.
Why would somebody practice that?
People fear what they don't understand, right?
Yeah.
What was I saying?
I don't have a clue.
No, no. Okay, so we talk about the Bible because my brain, it goes in full trigger mode about this.
He gets a little ADHD going on.
Oh God, all day. But now, what Bible are we talking about? Okay, what version are we talking about? Are we talking about Old Testament? Are we talking about the New Testament?
You get, Old Testament, New Testament, two different time periods.
Yeah.
I get that. But you have King James, you have New International. The American version. Are all of these Bibles translated the same way?
And who translates them?
Who translates them?
Okay, now let me ask you another question. Mary Magdalene, Jesus.
We've
why
been here before.
have we?
No, we talked about it with Scott Walter, the Mary Magdalene aspect.
But
of it.
there's the question. So I asked this to my very religious friend who claims to be a good-hearted Christian. But he wholly believes, because of the fact is the Bible says that you can't do this or you can do this, even though those weren't Jesus' scriptures. Those were the people after Jesus. I don't know where Jesus said that if you become a preacher of his word, that you can't get some ass. I'm just saying, and I don't mean to put it like that, but that's just the way I'm talking. Why is it such a bad thing that Jesus maybe had a girlfriend? Why is it such a bad thing that Jesus kissed a woman? Would it be such a bad thing that Jesus had sex? Why would it be such a bad thing that Jesus was married? Why is it such a bad thing that Jesus has a bloodline? You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
And people viciously, with zero evidence, with nothing, sit there and they rebuke it. They rebuke it. They degrade it. They said it is impossible because this or that.
Well,
or
they
whatever
feel
it may
dirty
be.
for talking about it.
Well, I don't feel dirty.
No, they do, is what I'm saying. They feel dirty listening to it. They feel dirty talking about it. But the bottom line is these are questions we're supposed to be asking. We are supposed to be asking these questions. And then we're supposed to find the truth. We're supposed to dig into it, read the scripture, and understand it.
Yeah.
Wow, we got way off into religion.
No, that's okay, though, because if you become, because this is really relevant to a lot of things we talk about. I mean, it's okay for us to talk about ghosts. It's okay for us to talk about aliens. But if we go and challenge any kind of narrative, especially a spiritual narrative, we could get viciously attacked for it, right? I don't understand that if we are to explore our existence, but yet we stay locked into a very specific ideology, I think that is part of the human dog training, right? I mean, we're being trained like dogs that this is it. You go by what that book says. Don't question anything beyond that. How do you evolve as a human being if you're locked into that? How do you evolve as a better person, right? Jesus always said, treat others as you want to be treated. That's my law. That's it. I don't need that book. I don't need to argue with strangers about whether that's fact or fiction. I don't need to argue with people if Noah was a real person or if he built the boat so damn big that he got every damn animal on the planet in that boat. I don't need to argue with people that Adam and Eve just mysteriously appeared on this planet, started humping and populated the whole damn planet. I don't need to argue about that. You know, I think there's moral of the stories and everything, and we could take good context out of it to be better people. But whether it was real or not, I'm not even going to waste my time. You know, because it's not serving me right now to be a good or bad person.
Well, no, but people would argue that the only way to learn to be good and to understand evil is to understand the book, because it educates. And to some extent it does.
Sure it does.
But back to the main question at hand, can those that, quote, seeded us here be considered what they thought back in, the Old Testament days were gods or a god?
Okay, let me go off the edge on something here.
I was hoping you'd do that.
I'm going off the edge.
All right.
Jesus rose from the dead. How do we know that Jesus wasn't some form of alien species? And when he rose from the dead, that was just him being transported back up, or the big bright light, he got put in the tomb and just mysteriously disappeared. A human body don't disappear.
Look, there's one word that most Christians will go to, and that word is faith. That's the only way that they know. And because they have faith that that's what the book's telling them happened, and that's what happened. Now, am I allowed to question that? Of course I'm allowed to question that. Now, that's between me and my creator, God, my higher power, whatever the case may be, to determine whether or not I can't question that. However, in what we do every day, from an investigative standpoint, open your mind to the concept that that might be what happened. That the alien species in the universe put Jesus here, or way even before that, created an organism that we evolved into, because good Lord, we don't want to get into the evolution versus creation conversation.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Did we evolve from a monkey?
I don't think we evolved from a monkey.
Okay.
No.
Where did Adam and Eve come from?
I don't know. I mean, I know what the book tells me. That's all I know.
See?
I mean, and I'm honestly, I'm a creationist, but I know there's evolution there too. We've got, thousands of years of evolution that we can point to and go, well, we know evolution works.
So I just Googled, was Jesus an alien? And a whole crap ton of information.
I'm sure it did.
A whole crap
sure
ton of information. But, I think that's just all about the human mind, though, about human control, because we've always been a species all the way back to the days of Moses.
Yeah.
You look at Moses and Moses was an Egyptian. He was a prince. He was going to be a pharaoh.
Okay.
He murdered somebody.
Yeah.
He goes away and comes back when he's an old man, and he has faced God. And now all of a sudden, just like that, he has millions of people following him, and somehow he magically parted the Red Sea. I would love to see that.
Those types of miracles, right? We, as humans today, haven't been able to put our eyes on something so spectacular.
When was the last real miracle that's ever been documented? Actual, real miracle.
I don't know. As far as Catholicism goes, that's how you become a saint, is you have to perform a certain number of miracles. But something like, parting the sea, that's nothing I put my eyes on.
Oh, I part the sea. That's how I made 3 kids. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm magical. I part shit.
Guys, RomikaDesigns.com. Go out there while you're on the break. Check things out. We've got some new products out there. We are Abnormal Realities. I am Ron. That is Rocky. Phone lines are open tonight, 202-900-5900.
At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logoed designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion, or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at RomikaDesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and would be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@RomikaDesigns.com, or visit us on the web at RomikaDesigns.com.
Abnormal Realities.
So we're trying to decide. We're trying to make a purchase, and we're debating over one big, huge item. So we're going to probably prostitute ourselves, and I'm gonna.
Because you want some of this.
That's right. And I'm gonna go down to the local Taco Bell. I just had an idea. Dude, you shave your head.
What?
Right now, bids. If we hit $50 donation to the program, would you right now on Freaky Friday,
Dude,
this is $50 closer to our camera system.
Right, but these are things we're supposed to talk about before the show.
No, because spontaneous decisions are the best decisions, right?
$50 and I'll shave my head.
There you go. He just said it. Yeah, you will.
Oh my God.
Look at Ron. What's the matter?
The first damn donation we got was $50 from Tim Ratliff.
Abnormal Realities.
Oh!
Son of a bitch.
Oh!
With Ron and Rocky.
Dude, I can't believe you really did it.
8 p.m. Eastern. Mojo 50.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Abnormal Realities. I'm Ron. That's Rocky. Welcome back.
How you doing?
We hope you guys were able to get out to romikadesigns.com and check out the merchandise out there. I need to clear something up, of course.
Yeah, all hate emails go to Ron at abnormalrealities.com.
Look, I believe in God. I believe in the Bible, and I'm a Christian. So when it comes right down to it, you hear us talking this stuff out because this is, I mean, people have different viewpoints. We get that. You know, when you start talking about religion, you piss off a lot of people. And that's not our point. Our point's not to piss off somebody. Whether you believe it or not, I don't give a damn. I really don't. But, Rocky asked me the question, so I thought I'd clear that up.
No, Ron yelled at me during the break.
I did not yell at him.
He said,
during
"You
the break.
son of a bitch."
I did
You
not
went
yell
there.
at him during the break.
So even my dad, he goes to church 3 times. We're going to stop this right now, but he goes to church 3 times a week. He serves mass. He gives hosts. I talked about it on the show, but he still entertains every single conversation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you can't entertain a conversation or you get pissed off because of it, that's where everything shuts down. Come on, grow up.
I don't know.
All right.
When you face death, I guess, you just go on this exploration.
It is an exploration.
I'm not trying to prove something doesn't exist. I'm looking for that existence.
Yeah.
I've had spiritual connections. I'm a very spiritual person.
Yeah.
I very much believe in higher powers. I do. I'm a Christian. I am a Christian man. But in order for me to evolve as a human being and not be part of the propaganda program, I want to understand the entirety of our existence.
Look, dude, I've had too many things happen to me that prove to me the presence of God.
Amen.
So I'm not going to.
Amen, bro.
All right. So Rocky and I, during the break, I said, we've got to get to this cabbage experiment because I'm intrigued by it. And I don't think I knew this. I don't think I understood that this might be the case. So before he gets started, how many of you out there talk to your plants? How many of you out there, say sweet things to your plants and they grow better? Well, I used to have a stepmother that did that. So I've seen it happen. And there have been a lot of experiments where one room has got plants with people talking great to them. Another room, they're yelling at the plants and the plants die.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell us about this cabbage experiment.
Well, I guess, Ron, this goes back down to understanding our existence, right?
Okay.
Because this entire planet is full of life. But we're so caught up in this thing that we call life that we just a lot of times aren't paying attention. Before I even continue on that, there was an author. I'm going to try to find out who she was. She wrote a book in regard, and this is going to take us right into this cabbage experiment. But she wrote a book about what changes in life because she was a hospice nurse. What changes in people's life when they find out that their time is limited? And honestly, that even though some people's experiences are very harsh, at least they have the opportunity to say goodbye, right? They have those opportunities.
Being a hospice nurse seems like it would be a very tough job
True
to me.
angels.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about human angels? Somebody to comfort somebody and then to gain relationships with people, just to know that those relationships are limited and to do that for a living. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, anybody out there that's a hospice nurse, man, much love and huge respect to all of you. But she was talking about the perception and importance of what we find in our life. We go to work every day. We do our thing every day. We work hard, man. We're going 16, 18 hours a day. But then when we know that it's limited, all of a sudden, all those things we work hard for become very irrelevant.
Yeah.
One guy was saying the drive to work that he drove for 30 some years, never paid attention. Just like that. He paid attention to every little thing. One lady she just wanted to sit on a swing. You know what I mean? The sound of the birds, the smell of the grass, the changing the colors of the leaves during the fall time. And why do we have to face such catastrophic consequences in life as death, even though, it's just another step in our existence? But why do we need that to recognize what we have already, right? So when I was going through all this, I mean, it's going through all my stages of life is why I am where I'm at today. And I started researching and listening to people speak about the intelligence in plants. And I thought it was absurd. I'm like, okay. So there's this one experiment called the Cabbage Experiment. And what they were trying to do is prove that plants have emotions. Plants have some kind of memory because, we're humans and we think you have to have a brain to have memory and to understand things.
Right.
And that's not true. Then universally speaking, that's not true. We talk about intelligent consciousness. Well, there's not a physical brain. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what they did in regard to the Cabbage Experiment, now you can Google this after the show, and you can validate all this. There's actually video out on this, to where what they were doing is they had a room and they had 2 cabbages, in pots, and they had people going in there. And
was there a reason they picked cabbage?
No, I don't think any particular
Okay.
reason.
All right.
What was that noise?
Me.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ron's all by himself tonight, folks, so he's not going to identify noise we just heard in the room. I don't know why they picked a cabbage, to tell you the truth. Good question. And so they had these cabbages hooked up to, they monitored stress.
Okay.
So whatever they were. I don't know if it would be like a lie detector system or whatever it was. And they had all these people in the room, and it stayed flatlined. No emotion, no fluctuation, nothing. It was just, okay. And then they had this one guy come in with the butcher knife. And this one guy went up to one of the cabbage plants, and he grabbed the cabbage, and he started cutting it up. Well, when he was cutting up that cabbage, the other cabbage plant stress level went through the roof. It literally identified that bad shit was happening to the other cabbage right next to him. And okay, so they documented that. They made they made the murderer leave the room, and then they proceeded to allow other people enter the room in and out. And the cabbage that was all freaked out from the murderer stayed flatlined when all those people were coming in and out. So then they had this guy that murdered the first cabbage plant come back into the room with the knife, and the second he walked through that door, every freaking meter stress level went through the roof. So that cabbage literally identified that guy coming back into the room, identified him as the murderer of the cabbage plant, and was stressed because of his presence, because it knew what he did to the cabbage plant next to him.
So there's a lot more to plants than we know. I mean, is that it?
Plants?
I mean, because you mentioned grass to me a while ago too.
The smell of grass. When you cut the grass,
Yeah.
I actually like that smell.
I do too.
So we're sick bastards.
Evidently, I didn't know that until now, but
Well, that smell of grass is actually, it's a distress signal. So when you cut your grass and you can smell it, and you're like, fresh cut grass. It's actually high anxiety stress level, or like a warning. It's like an anxiety that grass gives off when it's being cut. So it's like a skunk will spray somebody when it reaches a point, and that's what grass is doing. So every aspect of our existence on this planet has life to it. Just because it doesn't have a brain doesn't mean it doesn't have some kind of intelligence to it. There's plants in Africa where this one
the
farmer,
one that impresses me the most. Have you seen the Venus flytrap? That thing is the craziest damn plant I've ever seen.
it's a carnivore.
It is a carnivore.
It's a freaking carnivore. It knows to eat freaking flies, and it just closes and digests that whole damn thing. How does it know that, right? Because some sensors just make it automatically close. It has to know that. There's trees in Africa where this farmer, his cattle kept eating these trees. These trees grew a defensive mechanism to create this toxin in the leaves, so the animals that ate it got sick. So they would stop eating their damn leaves. And it's just, that's how nature works. And that's my whole point of when we become so tunnel visioned on one specific ideology, we will never step out of that and understand everything that's going on. I take pictures of flowers. You see me post stuff all the time.
Yeah.
When you see, and you're out in a field somewhere and you see this tiny little flower that we call an annoying weed. It's an annoying weed because we cut grass. We like to have nice yards. Well, you don't like cutting grass.
I don't like cutting grass.
But it's a form of life, right? Now, this isn't all this foo-foo. This isn't all, this is the reality of the world that we live in. I'll go down and I'll take a picture of this wildflower that's super tiny and I'll zoom in on it and make it look just monstrous. And I'll post it on Facebook or social media and it just looks like this beautiful flower. And it's this tiny little flower in the middle of nowhere. And here's the thing though, Phillips, is there's an entire existence around that plant and that life. And there's a whole universe right there, the size of a softball, a whole universe of life. And we just don't ever acknowledge that because we're caught up in the
plants,
daily grind.
The plants and they were here before us. Even in the Bible, they were here at least a couple of days before us, right?
At least a couple of days. At least a couple of days.
I don't know. It amazes me that when you open your mind to the aspect, it's something I've never thought about, of course, is can a plant have an emotional response to some type of stimuli? Yep. And if that plant was freaking out because his brother, sister, partner, plant, or whatever cabbage was getting chopped up, man, am I going to have to think about that now every time I cut some vegetables?
What is it they give you again when you go have surgery? Anesthesia?
Anesthesia. Yeah.
So they had a plant hooked up and they put a dome over a plant to see because there's still oxygen. The plant should have never been affected by the anesthesia. They put all these meters on this plant and they literally put this plant to sleep. They literally put a plant to sleep.
How do you know that a plant goes to sleep?
They had it all hooked up to all these monitors.
Yeah.
Just Google it sometime when you're super bored and just Google plant life and the intelligence of plants. There's so much out there right at the palm of your hands. We're just not looking for that information. So when I say, let's go down and do some ayahuasca, let's go down to Peru and let's go up in the mountains. And when I say that, we make fun of let's trip out on some drugs, right? Well, that's not the point. The point is to put yourself in a strong spiritual center somewhere where you have ancient wisdom just there, everywhere. Ancient structures and ancient, where people have walked for thousands of years. You put yourself there and you put yourself in a different time. You have different psychological experiences. You have different emotional experiences, different soul experiences. And it changes you and it should make you a better person. Because isn't that what our thing is in life, is to become better every single day?
Always. And to treat people treat people correctly. I mean, look, to me, and I'll say it again, social media has been the worst invention known to man. It just gives people this anonymity that they really don't need. But we talked a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, about remote viewing, right? So a 9-page CIA report was discovered that gives vivid and otherworldly descriptions through the eyes of highly trained remote viewers, which, when you're remote viewing, this is your ability to be able to put yourself in put yourself in a different place and kind of describe the visions around you.
This is like an extreme form of remote viewing.
Yeah, this is. Through the eyes of a highly trained remote viewer of an environmentally dying Mars and its soon-to-be extinct race of inhabitants that occurred about 1 million BC.
Okay, so he did a remote viewing to Mars.
Yeah. Says the document is a testament to the reality of the CIA's highly controversial and once secret Stargate project, which was the remote viewing project.
Yeah,
it trained individuals in remote viewing, their purported ability to physically see events, sites, or collect information from a great distance. In this case, the remote viewer was also instructed to travel back in time more than 1 million years. While many may scoff at the program, which started in Fort Meade, Maryland in 1978, it continued until 1991. No one is laughing at its $20 million price tag to U.S. taxpayers. Hokey smokes, dude.
What?
Wow. Time traveling back to ancient Mars, it explains that the remote viewer was given nothing but a sealed envelope prior to the interview with the following information. The planet Mars, time of interest, approximately 1 million years BC. The remote viewer then begins to describe the Martian landscape appearing in the mind's eye. Yep. It's yellowish and ochre colored. I'm tracking severe clouds, more like a dust storm. It's a geological problem. Seems to be like, just a minute, I'm looking at effect of a major geologic problem. He's then instructed by his handler to go back in time before the geologic problem. He then begins to describe huge pyramid structures and steep, smooth walls that seem to go on forever, built underneath a canyon. He says, see the intersecting, whatever these are aqueduct type of things. These rounded bottom carved channels like roadbeds. See pointed tops of something on the horizon. Even the horizon looks funny and weird. It's like different, misty, like really far away, very vague. Different coordinates are given again to the remote viewer, who begins describing huge pyramids that act as shelters from many Martian storms. I see different chambers, but they're almost stripped of any kind of furnishing or anything. Strictly functional place for sleeping, or that's not a good word, hibernations come of some form. I get real raw inputs, storm, savage storm, and sleeping through storms.
You know what's weird though, Phillips? So I've talked about remote viewing numerous times, in numerous occasions, but I've never, ever thought about remote viewing to a different time.
Yeah.
Let alone off planet.
Yeah. And my question is it even possible to remote view off planet or to a different time? You see what I'm saying?
Right,
I mean,
right.
Because I thought remote viewing was seeing something that's actually in the present.
Me as well.
Okay.
Me as well.
So this guy describes Martians as well. He says they asked him to describe the Martian inhabitants he sees in the protective structure. He says very tall, very large people, but they're thin. They look thin because of their height, and they dress like he says they dress like in, oh hell, it's a real light silk, but it's not flowing type of clothing. It's like cut to fit.
Dude.
Yeah. He said they're ancient people. They're dying. It's past their time or age or something. They're philosophical about it. They're looking for a way to survive, and they just can't.
You know,
Wow.
think about it though.
That's interesting to me, because either this guy was weaving a hell of a story, right? Or he was remote viewing 1,000,000 years ago.
But,
Or
okay.
2,000 years ago.
Yeah, 1,000,02021 years ago to be exact.
Yeah.
You know, think about it though. When we talk about how does remote viewing work, it's tough for me to even answer because I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. You know, people theorize that, you know, our consciousness is connected universally already. They talk about electromagnetic energies. Somehow our conscious can connect with that, and that's what keeps the earth where it's going. But why do we create a limit to it? Right? Why do we say that we can remote view to China, but we can't remote view to the moon, or we can't break our atmosphere, right?
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of that story besides the time travel one part that why couldn't we? Why couldn't I time travel right now to the moon? Or, I mean, remote view to the moon or Mars
Yeah,
or
but
Jupiter?
to me, Rocky, that seems like it's more of creating this image, creating this thing that it's a story. I mean,
Right.
in my opinion, remote viewing is type of fakery. Now, whether that actually works or not, I mean, I understand the CIA has used it, and probably a lot of investigators have used it to determine, you know, where a missing person is or something like that.
But you can never authenticate it.
But how do you authenticate
Right.
it is my question when it comes right down to it. Who knows?
That's a great question. So I had a flashback when you were describing those aliens in the silky clothes.
Yeah.
I actually thought, because lots of times people say that abduction works in many different ways. And lots of times through dreams, where you have dreams of certain things, then you may have been abducted, but to you it was a dream, right? Dude, I had a dream one time. I might have even told you about this. I was at this place and it was round, and to me at the time it kind of seemed like a high school, but it wasn't a high school. I don't know why I say that. And at the center of this place I was at, I was indoors of something. There was these kind of like the Coliseum. You got the old ancient seats.
Yeah.
So there weren't backrests. They were
Yeah.
just, and then at the very bottom was the table for the quote unquote council. In my dream, I knew that as the table of the council.
Okay.
Right. I was walking around and everything was circular. So everything was in a circle. I went into one room and they had babies in these bed thingies. They weren't beds, but they were like beds, and they were making them, right? They had adult.
Not in the way you and I know.
Not in the way you and I. Exactly. Good point. Because everybody probably just thought, was it like a sex room? They were building them. Weird. I went into another room, and they were repairing humans. Now, we would think surgery.
Okay.
But when I say repairing them, almost more of like a robotic type of repair.
Okay.
But the weirdest thing about all this is everything was bright. Everything was white, silky. Everything, there was no color. You know what I mean? It was the weirdest dream. And I told some people in the alien community, and they started explaining that there are some psychologists out there that do nothing but sit down with clients that have been abducted. And they said that abduction could be part of your dream state as well. So if you dream that you were there, because this is an odd dream, you know what I mean? It's just not normal dream.
Is this type of dream a very vivid dream?
I still see it.
Yeah.
You know, but I have vivid dreams all the time. So I don't know. I don't know what that dream was. I just thought it was really weird that you had the council. Maybe I saw a movie, and maybe it was just my subconscious producing images from some kind of movie or put something together. But the whole council part, at the very center of this place, how you had the ancient Colosseum seats, how you had rooms where they were making, not through sex, but making babies. You had rooms where they were repairing adult humans, and it was silent. It was completely silent. There was no conversations. There was no talking. It was just me walking around wondering, where the hell am I? You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
So I don't know. What do you guys think? Can dreams be interpreted as abduction? You know?
Well, I mean, when you get abductees back and they start telling their story, especially if they're in like hypnosis, regression, and they tell their story, it to me sounds like it was a dream, right? Now, honestly, because in almost every story, they're woozy, they're kind of in and out. They're not. They can remember little glimpses of things. It's almost like anesthesia, the way that kind of works. Or the way sleeping pills, sometimes a sleeping pill, depending on what type of pill it is, will affect people. I mean, there are stories of people driving their cars completely asleep.
That's
and
right.
they're driving, their body's doing what it's supposed to do, but they don't remember it at all. And that's not necessarily an abduction, but that in near-death experiences, abductions and NDEs are a place that I want to investigate. I want to
100%.
dig into it because that is absolutely intriguing to me. It's just like the universe.
Skip the Zip asked a question in the Facebook chat. He said, do you believe that dreams can only contain things you have seen before? What do you think, Phillips?
I don't think so. I mean, I think because I've dreamed stuff that I don't remember seeing before. Now, it may have come across a TV screen in my subconscious or something like that, but I don't, like in almost every dream that I can remember, I don't remember ever seeing that situation before.
See, and
sometimes I do. Don't get me back.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. If you watch a scary movie, and that's why I think I've blocked out all my dreams, scary movies, you kind of get that same glimpse in your dream of what you saw on TV. But for the most part, no, I can't.
Well, and then there's another thought too, and I don't either. I don't think that it has to be something that is registered in your subconscious, even though we literally consciously take in 3% of what our brain is actually taking in. 97% of what our brain is taking in is subconsciously. It just keeps downloading all
stuff
this
we don't
information.
even register at all.
But if we talk about past lives, how do we know we're not dreaming of certain times that have happened in a past life?
Yeah.
Because consciously, it's still the same conscious. It's transferring from one form of life to another, right?
Oh, that's a valid point.
So it's that historical download. It's the past life downloads that maybe we carry on to, just like when people believe that they're soul lovers or soul, fire, what are they? I can't remember what they call it. But people believe that they may have been together in a past life.
Oh, yeah.
And then they found each other in this existing life because there's this bond that they automatically had without not even knowing the person. They instantly, like, how do you know you and Misty, you weren't together in your past
agree.
life?
Yeah,
Maybe you're a samurai and you saved her life in some shit. I don't know.
Who knows? But let me get to this story. We got about 4 minutes left. It's a quick story just because we had it on the list of stuff to talk about, and I don't want to talk about it on Monday. So apparently... Apparently, this British police officer is driving down the road. Stop, dude. Stop touching me. Was driving down the road, and he looks out in this open field, and there are 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 men, tall men, standing in what appears to him to be a crop circle, right? They're wearing white jumpsuits. They have long blonde hair, all of them.
Oh.
They all look exactly the same. He said they were allegedly inspecting a freshly made crop circle in a field when the police officer who was off duty at the time encountered them. Let's see. As he walked towards the field, he saw 3 tall men with long blonde hair, all more than 6 feet tall. They were walking slowly in the middle of the field as if they were searching for something or inspecting the crop. Because the men were dressed in white overalls, he thought they could be forensic officers investigating an incident in the field. When he reached the side of the field, he heard a crackling sound similar to the sound of static electricity. The strange sound seemed to be running through the field, and the crop moved in ripples with the crackling noise. He raised his voice to draw the men's attention. They ignored him. They even refused to look up. But as soon as he entered the field, they looked up and appeared agitated. As he approached, they suddenly took to their heels, meaning they took off running. He said they ran faster than any man running he had ever seen. He says, I'm no slouch, but they were moving so fast, I looked away for a second, and when I looked back, they were gone. He said the crackling still was happening. He said, I got scared. The noise was still around, but I got an uneasy feeling and headed for the car. For the rest of the day, I had a pounding headache. I couldn't move. He said the witness heard a sound like static electricity passing through the field.
You know who the tall blonde people are, right?
There's a name for them.
Nordics.
Are they alien?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. They're tall. They all have blonde, long hair, blue eyes. All of them very tall. And then so with the static.
Yeah.
And the tall blonde hair people in the crop circle, they were probably the ones responsible. Maybe they're there was a contest. Maybe they're judging each other's work. Who could do the best damn crop circle? I could do a pretty good crop circle.
Yeah, it says the incredible story sparked discussion on Scott Waring's UFO Sightings Daily blog. He says tall whites are able to mingle with humans unnoticed because they use advanced technology to disguise their appearance. Some kind of hollow emitter makes their feet appear human-like, but they still cannot mask their odd walk. That was the thing. They all had an odd gait.
Well, what the hell what does their feet look like?
Beats the shit out of me, dude.
Dude, I know some people with some pretty alien-looking toes.
Feet.
Some funky feet.
Yeah.
Damn, Phillips, it's Friday.
It is Friday.
I'm burnt out,
It's time
man.
to take a break.
Yep. I am just kicked. Been a long week, bro.
I got a lot of stuff to cut on the laser tomorrow. All day long, I'll be out there. But you guys go out, romikadesigns.com. If you find something that you have a question about, hit me up. I should be online all day tomorrow. But check out the merchandise. We've got some good stuff out there. You take us home tonight.
Folks, hey, we love the hell out of you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Friday night. Man, I tell you, we're kicked in the face. You know what? It was Phillips' fault. The emotional thing that he put me through on Wednesday of bringing my boy in the studio. I never recovered from it.
It was fun, though.
We love you guys, and we appreciate the fact that all of you can have these kind of conversations and continue moving forward, because that's why we call this show Abnormal Realities. Ladies and gentlemen, we love the hell out of you. From our family to yours, much love, much respect. Abnormalrealities.com. All the information you need is going to be right there. Hey, happy Labor Day weekend. Be safe.
Yeah, be
love
safe.
one another, and be good. Love you guys. Good night, everybody.
See you guys. All right, we are clear.
Oh.
Boom. Welcome back to those that are on Facebook and YouTube and OpsLens and everything else like that. Guys, thanks for hanging with us this week, and we appreciate your patience for last night. Yeah, the show got a little deep tonight on the religious side, and we can tell we pissed a few people off.
Yep.
And I wish I could say I'm sorry for that, but I'm not. And the reason I'm not is because everybody has their own sense of where they should be. And just because we all don't share the same, thoughts and ideals, it doesn't mean that we're wrong. It just means that everybody has a different position on it, and that's fine. So
Hey, it's about conversation.
It is about conversation.
That's all it is.
That's what we're here for. We told you that at the very beginning.
Yep. So all hate emails, ron@abnormalrealities.com.
Send them all. Send them.
Because I won't even open them.
Yeah.
Even the important ones I don't open anyways.
Love you guys.
Hey,
Have a safe weekend.
Rob
See ya.
Phillips, take us home.
Bye, guys.